I'm Dr. Eugenia Cheng, Senior Lecturer of Pure Mathematics at the University of Sheffield. But shh, the bunny is sleeping. Okay, bunny, time to wake up. Bye. We need your mattress. So the thing about mattresses is that you're supposed to turn them round from time to time so that you don't squash the end that's got your head on it. So you're supposed to flip your mattress. So the easiest way to flip your mattress is to probably push it up against the headboard and flip it over like that. And then a bit later you can push it up against the headboard and flip it over like that. But are you going to get all possible head positions on your mattress if you do that? Let's write down what all the possible head positions on this mattress are. So here's A, then there's also the B position, and then on the other side there's the C position and the D position. So if we start in the A position and we flip the mattress, what happens? We get to the C position. And if we flip it again, we get to the A position. And if we flip it again, we get C, A, C, A. It's not very helpful, is it? We're never going to get to the B or the D positions. So what has happened here is that there are two things we can do. We can do nothing, which I'll write as 0, or we can do flip. And if we look at nothing and flip, we can look at what if we first do nothing. If we do nothing and then do nothing, obviously we're just in the A position. So I'm doing this one first and that one second. If we do nothing and then flip, we get ourselves into the C position. If we flip, okay, start again. If we flip and then do nothing, of course we enter in the C position. But if we flip twice, we get back to the A position. And you know what this is? This is a picture of a Battenberg cake. Now you might ask yourself, what has this got to do with anything? Well, here's what it has to do with something. How can you get yourself into the other positions so that you don't only squash the A position and the C position on your mattress? Well, there are some other ways you could try turning your mattress around. You could turn it sideways, which is a bit more inconvenient because you've got no headboard to turn it onto. You could also try and rotate it, which, well, you've got to have a bit more space at the sides, but you could rotate it. So let's see what happens if we try and do any of those things. So now we've got 4 possibilities. We've got doing nothing, we've got flip, then we've got doing this one, which I will call flop, and then we've got rotate. So we can draw another big table. It's like a multiplication table. 0, flip, flop, rotate. Now, obviously, if we do nothing and then do any of those things, well, if we do nothing and then do nothing, that's A. If we do nothing and then flip, we know that's C. Okay, let's get back to the starting position. If we do nothing and then flop, flop is this way. Now I've got into the D position. Start again. If I do nothing and then rotate, I've got into the B position. So now let's see what happens if I flip. So I'm going to flip and then flip. That's got me back into the A position again. Flip and then nothing is C. So there's a little Battenberg cake in the corner there. Now what happens if I flop and then flop? Well, that gets me back into the A position as well. And what happens if I rotate and then rotate? That also gets me back into the A position. So if I do any of these things twice, I get back to where I started. Now let's try and fill in this corner over here. What happens if I do flip and then flop? Okay, flip and then flop. I've got B. And what happens if I do flip? Okay, I've got to start back in the A position. What happens if I do flip and then rotate? And now I've got D. And look, I had a little Battenberg cake here, and I've got a little Battenberg cake there as well. Now you can try this for yourself, but I'll tell you now that if I fill in the rest of this table, I get a little Battenberg cake here that's the same as that one, and I get a little Battenberg cake here that's the same as this one. And so if you look at this and just squint your eyes a bit so you can't see very well, it's like a Battenberg cake of Battenberg cakes. It's the iterated Battenberg cake. What does that mean? Well, how do you make a Battenberg cake? You take 2 different coloured cakes, You cut them in half, and then you stack them up the other way round. So now I'm going to do exactly that, but with two different coloured Battenberg cakes. So here are my two different coloured Battenberg cakes. I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to swap them round and stack them up. There. I have iterated a Battenberg cake, and that picture is the same picture as the different ways of flipping the mattress. And now, if you really wanted to, you could wrap the entire thing in marzipan, yum, and then cut enormous slices of iterated Battenberg cake. There's actually a serious point to all that, which is to do with the classification of finite groups. But actually, it's a bit like playing Sudoku with only 4 numbers, and where the rule is that each row of this square and each column is only allowed to have each of the letters or numbers appearing once. So if you're doing it 4 by 4, there's basically only 2 patterns that will work. One of them is the iterated Battenberg cake, and I wonder if you can work out what the other one is.